So, Ihu, let me throw you a question. One I get asked almost every week. Someone comes to me and says, I've got 3,000 Rand a month that I can save. Where should I put it? Into a unit trust or into a tax free savings account? I think this is such an important question because most people hear about these terms unit trust, tax free savings account, but they don't really know how these instruments actually work in practice.
How do we exactly? On the surface, it sounds like a simple choice, but these two vehicles work very differently. If you don't understand the mechanics, you can easily end up paying unnecessary tax, wasting your tax-free allowance, or tying up money in the wrong place.
And that's exactly what we're going to unpack today in today's Retirement Masterclass. I'm Hardy Swart, Certified Financial Planner at Family Wealth Custodians. Together with my team at Family Wealth Custodians, we've been helping South Africans retire with confidence and clarity.
And I'm Michu Kloppers, also a financial planner at Family Wealth Custodians. Today we'll compare unit trusts and tax-free savings accounts side by side. We'll look at what they are, how they work, their pros and cons, and most importantly, how they fit into your financial life when you're saving 3,000 Rand a month.
And as always, just a quick disclaimer. Remember, this is an educational video. It's not personal advice. Everyone's situation is unique, so for tailored recommendations, speak to a certified financial planner. Let's start with the building blocks, the unit trust. A unit trust is simply a basket of investments. Your 3,000 Rand goes into that basket along with thousands of others of investors' money. A professional fund manager then invests that basket into shares, bonds, property or cash, depending on the mandate of the fund. You then own units in that basket, and as the investment performs, the value of your unit goes up or down.
And what makes unit trusts so powerful is their flexibility. You don't need millions to get started. You can begin with a small debit order and scale it up. You can stop contributions if life gets tough, and you can withdraw your money with relative ease. That makes them perfect for medium-term goals or as part of a broader investment plan. And if you are cost sensitive and investing for the long term, you can opt to invest in passive funds that track the market performance at very low costs.
But here's the one thing most people don't realize. Unit trusts are taxable. Interest is taxed once you've used up your annual exemption. Dividends are taxed at source through the dividend withholding tax. And when you sell units at a profit, you trigger capital gains tax. So while they're versatile, you don't get special tax break. They're like the everyday workhorse of investing, flexible and accessible, but not the most tax-efficient form of investing.
Exactly. And that's why you don't want to keep all of your long-term savings in just a unit trust. It's great for liquidity, but not always for efficiency.
Now, let's look at the tax-free savings account, or TFSA. This is where government actually came to South Africans and gave them a real gift back in 2015. Here's the deal. Inside a TFSA or tax-free savings account, all growth is completely tax-free. No tax on interest, no tax on local dividends, and no capital gains tax. That means your 3,000 Rand a month compounds completely untouched by the taxman. And over a 20 or 30-year period, that difference is enormous.
But here's the catch. You can only contribute 36,000 Rand a year, which works out to 3,000 Rand a month. And there's a lifetime cap of 500,000 Rand. And once you've used this space, it's gone. So let's say over a lifetime, you contributed 100,000 Rand and withdraw 50,000 Rand. Your lifetime allowance is still counted as 100,000. That's why you should treat your TFSA as a long-term compounding machine, not as an emergency fund.
All right, Igu, so let's compare them head to head. Someone saving 3,000 Rand a month. In a unit trust, it provides flexibility, no contribution limits, and you can invest as much as you want and access the money when you need it. But they're taxable. Where a tax-free savings account has amazing tax benefit but capped at 36,000 Rand per year and a lifetime limit of 500,000 Rand. Once you use this space, it's gone.
And here's the golden rule. If you have 3,000 Rand a month to invest, max out your TFSA first. It's the most efficient way to grow money long term. But, and this is key, don't ignore unit trusts. They're still vital for liquidity and for any savings above that 36,000 annual cap.
So in practice, the smart move is to run both. Use your tax-free savings account for long-term compounding and keep a unit trust for flexibility, emergencies, or medium-term goals. Jehu, let's make it practical. Imagine you're 35 years old and you commit 3,000 Rand a month to your tax-free savings account. You do that consistently for 14 years and you hit your lifetime cap of 500,000 Rand. Now, let's assume a 10% growth rate. By the time you reach retirement, that 500,000 Rand you actually contributed could have grown into well over 2 million Rand, completely tax-free. That's the power of compounding without the tax drag.
Compare that to putting that same money into a normal unit trust. Yes, it will still grow, but every year the taxman takes a slice of your interest, your dividends, and eventually your capital gains. Over 30 years, the difference could be hundreds of thousands of rands lost to tax.
And this is why we always tell clients, if you can, max out your tax-free savings account every year. That 36,000 Rand a year might not sound like a lot, but over time, it's one of the most powerful tax-efficient investments available to South African investors.
And then, once you've maxed out your tax-free savings account, put any additional monthly savings into a unit trust. That way, you've got liquidity and no limits, but your tax-free space is still compounding in the background.
So now the question is, when should we use a tax-free savings account and when should we use a unit trust? If your goal is long-term growth, retirement, financial independence, or saving for your kids' education, you might prioritize a tax-free savings account. Where if your goal is flexibility, saving for a property deposit or a wedding or a rainy day fund, you might be better suited to use a unit trust.
And of course, the reality is you'll often use both. That way you don't end up dipping into your tax-free savings account for short-term needs and wasting your lifetime allowance.
So there you have it, unit trust versus tax-free savings accounts. Both are powerful, both have their place, and the real magic comes from using them together strategically.
If you'd like to go deeper, join our retirement community. The link is in the description. We share weekly videos, tips, and articles to help South Africans prepare for retirement.
And we'd love to hear from you. If you're saving monthly, are you using a tax-free savings account, a unit trust? Drop your experience in the comments below.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who's serious about saving for their future.
Thanks for watching. My name is Hardy Swart.
And I'm Jehu Kloppers.
Keep investing into your future.